You know what no one talks about? That weird blah feeling that hits after you finally stop hustling 24/7. You're not burnt out anymore, but you're not exactly excited about where you are either. It's like you're floating between that exhaustion phase, but also that ambition phase. You know by now, it takes way more than social media to build a business that actually supports your life. Welcome to More Than Social, the real talk podcast for entrepreneurs who are done with the highlight reel and ready to have honest convos about what it really takes to grow a wildly successful business and a life you love. I'm your host, Lisa Ann, type A personality, digital marketing expert, coach, and your get right to the point business bestie. Around here, we talk about the messy middle, the mindset shifts, the wins, and even the WTF moments behind the scenes of entrepreneurship. Because let's be real, this journey, it's more about content calendars and chasing video views on social media. It's about the motivation to keep you going, owning your success, staying resilient through all the chaos, and evolving into that next version of yourself. So if you are here to grow with more clarity, more courage, and have a little bit less BS in your life, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Do you ever have those days where you wake up, you sit at your desk, you look at this to-do list, you think like, I just can't. You're not ungrateful, you still love your business, you believe in your mission, but something just feels off, I could say. You're tired, unmotivated, disconnected. And if you're nodding your head right now, I just want you to know you're definitely not alone, my friend. In fact, I recorded this exact episode for that version of me, the one who hit a wall after years of grinding and had no idea really what to do next. Because let me take you back a second, okay? There was a time in my business where hustle was the only gear I really had. Like years, not days, not weeks, years of nonstop, all in, sleep when I'm dead type of energy. Weekends, holidays, evenings, it did not matter. If I even had 30 minutes, I was filling it with something productive for my business. And for a long time, that felt normal. It felt like what I had to do to grow. But eventually, it stopped working, to be honest. The drive, yeah, it was still there, but the excitement, the energy, it just started slipping. And I remember thinking, is this what success is supposed to feel like? Because I wasn't feeling inspired. I was just so damn tired. I didn't want to open my laptop. I didn't want to be on. I didn't want to do anything except honestly just breathe. And that's when I realized I was in survival mode, still showing up, still delivering for my clients, still being successful, but internally, I was so damn done. I don't think we talk about this enough as entrepreneurs, that place where you're not necessarily burnt out anymore, but you're not fully in it either. You've created a little space for yourself. Maybe you take weekends off now, or you actually shut your laptop at 5 p.m., but then that guilt creeps in. You start wondering, am I doing enough? Is my business going to stall if I slow down? Am I a failure if I'm not busy 24/7? And honestly, those questions can feel just as overwhelming as the grind itself. Because we've been taught, especially in this damn online space, that our worth is tied to our work. The more you do, the more successful you must be, right? But here's the plot twist. That's a lie. If that were true, then the people working 14-hour days would be the happiest, the most successful people that we know. And they're not. The truth is, some of the most successful entrepreneurs that I know and I get to surround myself with, they work 3 hours a day. They build businesses around their life, not the other way around. And they're not panicking every single time that they take a day off. That kind of freedom doesn't come from working harder. It comes from working wiser. Now, let me say this because it is so important. There's nothing wrong with being in that grind season. Sometimes we do need to push. Sometimes the season requires more of us. But the danger is when we stay there for too long, when we start equating our busyness with our value. So if you're in this season right now where everything just feels kind of blah, where the spark feels dim, where you're questioning everything, here's what I want you to do. Take a break. Not a burnout collapse kind of break, a chosen break. And start small. Maybe it's one Sunday you have no laptop. Maybe it's an afternoon where you leave your phone in a completely different room. Maybe it's 3 hours at a coffee shop with no agenda, no to-do list, just space. I'll tell you what happened when I did that. It was during an anniversary trip with my husband. We went to a spa, one of those places, where you can't bring your phone, you can't talk, you can barely whisper. And for the first time in forever, I truly disconnected. And in that silence came so much clarity. Laying there, eyes closed, wrapped in a robe with zero notifications, I had so many epiphanies, ideas that had been buried under busy, truths I hadn't been still enough to actually hear, visions for my business, for my life that I hadn't let myself dream of because I've been in this go mode for too long. And yes, my first thought was, why didn't I bring my notebook? But that's the thing. When we give ourselves space to breathe, the magic comes back. Not because we pushed harder, but because we paused. So let me ask you this. When's the last time you gave yourself a day off without any guilt? When's the last time you created space without trying to use it productively? When's the last time you listened to what you actually need, not what Instagram or YouTube or sales emails told you to do? Because maybe, just maybe, what you need right now isn't a new strategy. It's not a new funnel or a content plan or a coaching container. Maybe what you need is space to feel again, to dream again, to come home to yourself again. And when you give yourself that gift, the fire starts to come back. The ideas start to flow again. The joy, the energy, the why behind your business, it starts to feel real again. So if you're in the grind, my advice is this. Take one intentional break. Don't fill it with shoulds. Don't guilt yourself for resting. Let it stretch. And then watch how much more clearly you can see what you actually want next. Because trust me, you are not falling behind by resting. You're preparing for what's actually next. So if you've been feeling that weird in between that I should want to work, but I just don't kind of energy, I want you to know this. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It means you've grown, you're evolving, and now you're being called to build your business differently. You've already proven that yes, you can hustle, you know how to grind, but that next level, it's about building with intention. It's about allowing space for rest, for inspiration, and for life. So take that damn day off, step away, breathe. Your business will not fall apart, and you might just come back more clear, more creative, and more you than ever. You're not behind. You're right on time. Look at me with a rhyme right there. And you are allowed to build your business this way. I want you to hear that. And I want you to remember that. And I want you to listen to this again if you need to hear it, and any time you need to hear it. Because I believe in you. I trust you. Trust the process. Trust all of it. And more importantly, gosh, you deserve it. Okay? You deserve it. So that's a wrap on today's episode of More Than Social, where we keep it real, keep it honest, and keep growing together. If today hit home, can you do me a favor, please? Screenshot this episode, tag me, share it with the entrepreneurs in your world who need to hear it too. You never know who's waiting for a reminder that they're not alone in this journey. And hey, make sure that you're subscribed so you never miss the moments that pull back the curtain, that push you forward. Now go out there and take messy action. Own your success and remember this. You are not here to play small. You're here to build more. And I am cheering you on every step of the way, my friend. So I will see you next week.